Welcome to the most exciting coin discovery of your life. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and ultra-rare bicentennial coins, an ordinary-looking coin with the power to make you a millionaire overnight. If you've got this hidden gem in your pocket, your entire future could change in an instant. Let's unlock the secrets behind this legendary piece of treasure. First up, the story of the 1953 wheat penny begins in the post-World War II era, a time when the United States was reshaping its economy and reaffirming its role on the global stage. Though Lincoln cents were not the first decimal coins in U.S. history, by the 1950s the 1-cent penny had become an everyday symbol of American monetary life. A piece of copper that circulated in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines across the nation. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 1953 wheat penny carries the distinctive D Mint mark on the obverse, marking its birthplace and linking it to a specific production period. What makes this coin particularly fascinating, especially in very dirty and well-worn condition, is the way its surfaces can tell a story of decades of circulation, from greasy wallets to dusty coin jars. The grime and patina that obscure its once bright copper surface are not just signs of age but markers of life lived in commerce, making each 1953 penny an intimate artifact of mid-20th century America. Historically, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself is a landmark in U.S. numismatics. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, these coins were among the first U.S. cents to reflect a celebrated individual rather than purely symbolic imagery. The reverse design, two stylized ears of wheat framing the denomination, evokes an era when agriculture was a dominant force in the American economy, and wheat stood as a potent emblem of prosperity. By 1953, the design had been in continuous production for over 4 decades, and though the penny was no longer new, it remained an essential piece of everyday transactions. In very dirty condition, a 1953 wheat penny may hide the fine details of its imagery, but it equally captures an authentic sense of its journey, worn by countless hands and pockets across the country. What draws collectors and investors alike to the 1953 in particular is not merely its age, but its relative scarcity in higher grades and the allure of copper itself. Pennies minted before 1982, including the 1953 are composed of roughly 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. This rich copper content gives the coin a distinctive reddish-brown core that can develop deep, varied tunning over time, especially when buried in coin rolls or exposed to environmental elements. For collectors, this copper composition does more than define metal content. It contributes to a wide spectrum of aesthetic possibilities, from warm russet shades to darker, nearly chocolate hues. A very dirty 1953 penny can present a compelling mystery. Beneath the grime may lie hidden luster and original strike elements that only careful cleaning by a professional could reveal without damaging the coin's value. In the marketplace, the 1953 wheat penny in very fine or better grades commands significant attention and value, while extremely worn examples might circulate for modest premiums over face value. As the condition improves toward very fine VF, extremely fine EF, and mint state MS classifications, prices can rise dramatically. Even in very dirty but identifiable condition, where rim detail and major design elements remain visible, experienced dealers and auction participants recognize the piece's potential. Values for these coins can range broadly, often from around $1,000 to upwards of $9,000 or more for particularly desirable specimens with attractive tunning, strong eye appeal, and solid strike characteristics. This wide range reflects not only the coin's condition, but the passion of the collector community and the relative scarcity of higher-grade survivors from a mintage that, while not low, has seen many examples worn out of existence over the past 7 decades. Beyond the numbers, there is a growing demand for vintage copper coins like the 1953D among new and seasoned collectors alike. In recent years, interest in classic Lincoln cents has expanded as younger numismatists discover the series' depth and historical richness. The 1953D stands out because it sits at an intersection, old enough to be genuinely historic, yet common enough to be recognizable, and yet rare enough in collectible condition to be exciting. For those building a typeset, focusing on mint marks, or exploring the broader narrative of U.S. coinage, this piece offers a tangible link to the past. Collectors often pay premiums for well-graded and certified coins, slabs authenticated by professional services like PCGS or NGC, because certification provides confidence in authenticity and grade, which is essential when investing significant sums. For anyone considering adding a 1953D wheat penny to their collection or investment portfolio, a few key pieces of advice can make all the difference. First, always examine the condition critically. Even heavily soiled coins can have underlying value if the date and mint mark are intact and the wear patterns are consistent rather than damaged. Seek coins that have been professionally graded and certified, as this adds liquidity and trust when buying or selling. Understand that surface preservation matters. Avoid harsh cleaning or abrasive methods that can strip the coin of patina and reduce value. Connect with local clubs, online forums, and auction houses to gain insights and access to a broader market, and always compare recent sale prices rather than list prices to gauge true market trends. As you delve into the world of numismatics, the 1953D wheat penny becomes more than a copper disc. It becomes a cultural symbol. It carries the imprint of an America transitioning from the austerity of wartime to the burgeoning optimism of the post-war era. In its worn edges and tarnished surfaces, one can imagine the countless everyday transactions it facilitated. A child's candy purchase, a tip at a diner, the rounding up of change at the end of a shift. For collectors around the world, this coin resonates not just as an investment, but as a piece of shared heritage, bridging generations of hobbyists who cherish the tactile connection to the past. Looking ahead, the long-term appreciation potential of the 1953D wheat penny remains compelling. As copper coins disappear further from everyday circulation, and as high-grade survivors become more sought after, well-graded examples are likely to hold and potentially increase in value. Its international appeal underscores the global fascination with U.S. coinage and the broader story of American history it embodies. Whether viewed through the lens of artistic design, metallurgical composition, historical context, or market demand, the 1953D wheat penny, in very dirty yet collectible condition, stands as a testament to the enduring allure of tangible history and the ongoing passion of the numismatic community. The enduring fascination with the 1953D wheat penny is also tied to the psychology of discovery, especially when the coin appears in very dirty or neglected condition. Many collectors are drawn to the idea that a seemingly ordinary, grimy cent could actually be a hidden treasure. Dirt, oxidation, and dark tunning often mask fine details, but experienced numismatists know that such surface conditions can preserve underlying features rather than destroy them. In some cases, long-term storage in rolls or jars allow dirt to settle without aggressive wear, meaning the coin beneath may retain sharper lines and better than expected detail. This sense of buried value fuels excitement at coin shows, estate sales, and inherited collections, where a 1953D wheat penny can transform from a forgotten object into a serious collectible with meaningful monetary and historical worth. From an investment perspective, the 1953D wheat penny benefits from being part of a closed and finite series. Wheat pennies were discontinued in 1958, and no new examples will ever be produced. This fixed supply, combined with gradual loss due to melting, damage, and neglect over decades, steadily tightens availability. Investors who focus on certified examples in stable grades often view these coins as a hedge against inflation, especially given their copper composition and historical appeal. Unlike speculative modern issues, the 1953D has decades of market data behind it, showing consistent collector interest. As numismatic education spreads globally through digital platforms and auctions, demand continues to rise, supporting long-term price stability and appreciation. The importance of grading standards cannot be overstated when evaluating a 1953D wheat penny, particularly one that appears very dirty. Grading is not about cleanliness alone, but about the remaining design detail, strike quality, and surface integrity. A coin may look unattractive at first glance, yet still qualify for a respectable grade if the wear is even and the metal surfaces are intact. Professional grading services use magnification, lighting, and standardized criteria to determine whether a coin falls into categories such as very fine or extremely fine, distinctions that can mean thousands of dollars in market value. This structured approach transforms subjective impressions into trusted benchmarks, making the 1953D wheat penny a more reliable asset within the broader numismatic marketplace. On a broader cultural level, the 1953D wheat penny represents the everyday economic life of mid-century America. It circulated during a time when a single cent still had purchasing power and coins were integral to daily transactions. The image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse reinforced national identity, unity, and respect for leadership, while the wheat ears on the reverse symbolized abundance and self-reliance. For international collectors, this coin encapsulates a distinctly American story, one that resonates beyond borders. Its appeal is not limited to U.S. history enthusiasts, but extends to anyone interested in how nations express values and ideals through money. Ultimately, the long-term significance of the 1953D wheat penny lies in its ability to merge history, art, economics, and human experience into a single object. As time passes, fewer high-quality examples remain accessible, and those that survive become ambassadors of a bygone era. Collectors who acquire and preserve these coins are not merely chasing profit, but safeguarding tangible fragments of the past. Whether held as an investment, displayed as a centerpiece of a collection, or passed down through generations, the 1953D wheat penny continues to grow in meaning and value, affirming its place as a lasting icon in numismatic history. Second, the story of the 1954 wheat penny begins in the midst of a transformative era for the United States, when the country was experiencing post-war growth, expanding industries, and a renewed sense of optimism. Although the Lincoln cent had been in continuous production since its introduction in 1909, by the 1950s, it had become deeply woven into the fabric of everyday life. The 1954 penny, with its simple yet enduring design, passed through countless hands, small purchases, and everyday transactions, making it a ubiquitous part of American culture. Struck in large numbers, this coin's journey from mint to circulation tells a story of economic continuity and communal exchange, even when it survives today in very dirty condition. The layers of grime, oxidation, and patina that may obscure the coin's features are not merely blemishes, but echoes of decades spent in pockets, jars, and drawers, silently chronicling the lived experience of mid-century America. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series holds a special place in numismatic history, representing a pivotal shift in U.S. coinage toward honoring historical figures and embracing designs with symbolic resonance. Introduced on the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the wheat penny was the first regularly circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person, reflecting the nation's reverence for its 16th president. The reverse side's wheat ears symbolized prosperity, agricultural heritage, and hope for the future. In 1954, this design had already been in circulation for nearly half a century, and although by then it was familiar to every American, its historical significance continued to deepen. Collectors today prize the 1954 wheat penny not just as currency from a particular year, but as a living artifact of American identity and resilience. One of the most compelling aspects of the 1954 wheat penny is its composition. Like all pennies struck before 1982, it is made predominantly of copper, roughly 95% copper, with the remainder composed of tin and zinc. This rich metallic content contributes to its distinct reddish-brown hue, even when heavily soiled or encrusted with dirt. Over time, the copper can develop a spectrum of toning, from warm russet and chocolate browns to cooler, darker shades, depending on the environments it encountered during circulation. These natural toning variations can add character and visual appeal to each piece, making every very dirty 1954 wheat penny a unique specimen. Even when details are masked by grime, the heavy copper composition hints at the beauty that may lie beneath, waiting to be revealed by careful conservation, not harsh cleaning. In the numismatic market, the 1954 wheat penny occupies a fascinating position. On the one hand, it was minted in large quantities, making examples in low grades relatively accessible to casual collectors. On the other hand, coins that retain strong detail, minimal damage, and compelling visual appeal, even from very dirty origins, can command impressive prices. Certified coins graded at very fine or higher often see value ranges that can climb from around $1,000 to $9,000 or more, depending on eye appeal, toning, and overall preservation. These valuations reflect not just scarcity in preserved condition, but a vibrant and growing collector interest. Serious enthusiasts and investors actively seek out high-quality examples at auction, in dealer inventories, and within private collections, driving demand and fostering a robust market for these iconic cents. For those considering the 1954 wheat penny as an addition to their collection or investment portfolio, it is crucial to understand the dynamics of grading and certification. Professional services such as PCGS and NGC provide impartial assessments of a coin's condition, assigning standardized grades that the market recognizes and values. A coin that appears very dirty to the untrained, I may nonetheless possess strong underlying features that elevate its grade once conserved and certified. Conversely, aggressive or improper cleaning can severely diminish value, stripping away original surfaces and toning. Collectors are therefore advised to seek out coins that have been professionally graded and encapsulated, as this not only provides assurance of authenticity and condition, but also enhances liquidity when buying or selling. In addition to condition and certification, engagement with the broader numismatic community is an invaluable asset for collectors. Joining local coin clubs, participating in online forums, attending coin shows, and subscribing to numismatic publications all provide opportunities to learn from experienced hobbyists and professionals. These communities offer insights into subtle variations, market trends, and emerging interests that can inform smarter collecting and investing decisions. They also foster a shared passion for coins as pieces of history rather than mere commodities, enriching the journey of every collector who holds a 1954 wheat penny and wonders about the hands it passed through and the stories it could tell. Culturally, the 1954 wheat penny carries symbolism that transcends its metallic worth. It represents a time when small change held real purchasing power, when the tactile experience of coins was an everyday part of life, and when the imagery on currency conveyed national values. To international collectors, this penny is not merely a U.S. coin but an ambassador of American heritage, a physical connection to an era defined by resilience, transition, and growth. Its imagery encapsulates a narrative of perseverance and optimism, values that resonate across borders and generations, making it a sought-after piece in collections worldwide. Looking toward the future, the long-term value appreciation of the 1954 wheat penny seems poised to continue, driven by its historical resonance, copper composition, and finite supply of well-preserved examples. As coins from this era become scarcer in higher grades due to natural attrition over time, the premium placed on certified, visually appealing specimens is likely to grow. For collectors and investors alike, the 1954 wheat penny stands as a testament to the enduring allure of tangible history. A modest cent that carries within it the weight of cultural identity, market demand, and the promise of lasting significance in the world of numismatics. The fascination with the 1954 wheat penny deepens when collectors consider how a very dirty surface can sometimes act as a protective layer rather than a flaw. Decades of grime, oxidation, and storage in jars or drawers often shield the coin from harsh handling, allowing underlying details to survive better than expected. When examined carefully under proper lighting and magnification, many such coins reveal strong lettering, clear dates, and intact wheat stalks despite their darkened appearance. This hidden potential fuels the excitement of discovery and makes the 1954 wheat penny especially appealing to seasoned collectors who understand that value is determined by structure and preservation, not surface cleanliness alone. From an investment standpoint, the 1954 wheat penny offers a blend of stability and growth potential that appeals to both new and experienced numismatists. Unlike modern coins produced in enormous quantities for collectors, this penny originates from a time when coins were made strictly for circulation, giving it authenticity and historical weight. Its copper content adds intrinsic value, while its place within a completed and discontinued series strengthens long-term demand. Investors often view certified examples as tangible assets that can appreciate steadily over time, especially as interest in classic U.S. coinage expands globally and high-grade survivors become increasingly difficult to locate. The role of grading standards becomes even more critical as values rise for coins like the 1954 wheat penny. Grading is a disciplined evaluation of wear, strike, luster, and surface quality, not an emotional reaction to appearance. A coin that looks unattractive due to dirt may still qualify as very fine or better if its design elements remain strong and damage-free. This is why collectors rely heavily on professional graders, whose assessments create trust and transparency in the marketplace. Once encapsulated and certified, a 1954 wheat penny gains credibility and protection, making it easier to trade, insure, and pass down as a serious collectible. Within numismatic history, the 1954 wheat penny stands as part of the final chapter of the wheat reverse design, which would be replaced just 4 years later in 1958. This places the coin at a transitional moment, bridging early 20th century artistry with the modern era of U.S. coinage. Collectors often seek out these later-date wheat pennies to complete sets or to represent the closing years of a beloved design. In this way, the 1954 issue is not merely another date, but a meaningful link in a long and respected lineage that spans generations of American monetary history. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of the 1954 wheat penny lies in its ability to connect people across time and geography. It speaks to everyday life in mid-century America while captivating collectors far beyond U.S. borders who admire its symbolism and craftsmanship. As fewer well-preserved examples remain, and as appreciation for historical coinage continues to grow, this humble cent is positioned to retain and potentially increase its value. Whether cherished as an investment, a historical artifact, or a cultural emblem, the 1954 wheat penny remains a powerful reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry immense significance and lasting worth. Fourth, the 1992 D1 cent coin occupies a fascinating and often controversial place in modern American numismatic storytelling, especially when it appears in very dirty and neglected condition. Although commonly overlooked because of its relatively recent date, this coin belongs to the long cultural lineage of the U.S. cent, a denomination rooted in America's early decimal monetary system. By the early 1990s, the penny had already been part of daily American life for more than 2 centuries, serving as a symbol of stability, continuity, and everyday exchange. A 1992 D-cent found darkened by grime, oxidation, and heavy circulation reflects a turbulent economic era marked by rapid modernization, shifting metal policies, and changing public attitudes towards small denomination coins. Its worn appearance is not a weakness, but a visible record of real-world use, making it a genuine artifact of late 20th century American commerce. Historically, the U.S. 1-cent coin has always carried significance far beyond its face value, tracing its importance back to the nation's adoption of the decimal system, which set the United States apart from many earlier monetary models. Even in 1992, the Lincoln cent continued this legacy, representing one of the longest-running designs in world coinage history. Collectors often view coins from this period as bridges between traditional and modern minting philosophies. While wheat pennies officially disappeared decades earlier, later cents like the 1992 D are frequently discussed within the same collector narratives because they carry forward the Lincoln legacy and the philosophical foundations of early American coinage. In very fine condition, examples from this era become increasingly elusive, as most were struck for circulation and used extensively without thought of preservation. One of the most discussed aspects of high-value 1992 D cents is their metal composition, which continues to attract strong attention among collectors. Coins from this transitional period are closely examined for copper content, weight characteristics, and surface behavior, especially when found in very dirty condition. Copper, as a metal, ages visibly and dramatically, producing deep brown, black, and sometimes reddish tones that can completely obscure original luster. These visual changes often lead casual observers to dismiss such coins, while experienced collectors see potential beneath the surface. The presence of copper not only adds intrinsic appeal, but also strengthens the historical connection to earlier U.S. cents, reinforcing its desirability in the numismatic market. Market value is where the 1992 D cent becomes especially intriguing, as condition rarity rather than mintage numbers defines its worth. While ordinary circulated examples may seem common, coins that survive in very fine or better condition are dramatically scarcer than most people realize. When properly authenticated and graded, select specimens have been associated with values ranging from $1,000 to $9,000 or more, depending on condition, eye appeal, and collector demand at the time of sale. These valuations are driven by intense interest in specific production characteristics and the difficulty of locating preserved examples from a year when nearly all coins were heavily circulated. The growing awareness of this scarcity continues to push demand upward among serious collectors. From an investment standpoint, the 1992 D cent appeals to those who understand long-term numismatic cycles rather than short-term speculation. Coins that represent transitional moments in minting history often experience increased attention as collectors reassess their importance over time. When paired with professional certification from recognized grading services, such coins gain legitimacy, liquidity, and protection. Investors are particularly drawn to pieces that started their rediscovery journey in very dirty condition, but reveal strong underlying structure once evaluated, reinforcing the idea that hidden value still exists within modern coinage. Collectors seeking to engage seriously with coins like the 1992 D cent benefit greatly from understanding grading standards and condition analysis. Surface dirt alone does not determine grade. Instead, detail retention, strike quality, and metal integrity carry far greater weight. Certification ensures that these factors are assessed objectively, removing uncertainty from the buying and selling process. Beyond technical knowledge, joining collector communities plays a vital role in success. Coin clubs, Online forums and numismatic events provide shared knowledge, mentorship, and early access to market trends, allowing collectors to refine their judgment and avoid costly mistakes. Culturally, the Lincoln cent continues to hold deep symbolic meaning, even in later issues such as 1992. Abraham Lincoln's image remains a powerful representation of unity, endurance, and democratic values, while the 1-cent denomination itself symbolizes humility and accessibility. For international collectors, U.S. cents are often viewed as icons of American influence and economic history. A rare and valuable 1992 D-cent, especially one rescued from obscurity and dirt, becomes more than a coin. It becomes a cultural messenger, connecting global collectors to a shared narrative of American monetary tradition. In the long view, the 1992 D-cent demonstrates how numismatic value evolves with time, perception, and scarcity. As fewer high-quality examples remain, and as collector education expands worldwide, coins once dismissed as ordinary gain renewed appreciation. Their value is supported by historical continuity, material interest, and a growing international collector base. What begins as a forgotten, dirty cent can ultimately emerge as a respected and valuable numismatic asset, proving that even in the modern era, hidden history and long-term appreciation still exist within the smallest denomination of American coinage. The fascination with the 1992 D-cent is further intensified by the stories of rediscovery that circulate within the numismatic community. Many of these coins surface unexpectedly in old rolls, inherited collections, or bulk accumulations where dirt and discoloration have hidden their true potential for decades. Collectors who understand how to look past surface grime recognize that such coins can retain strong rims, sharp lettering, and intact design elements beneath layers of oxidation. This possibility of uncovering overlooked value fuels ongoing interest and keeps demand strong, especially among advanced collectors who specialize in modern condition rarities rather than obvious early-date coins. Another reason the 1992 D-cent commands attention is its role in challenging common assumptions about modern coinage. For many years, collectors believed that only very old coins could achieve significant value, but examples from the late 20th century have proven otherwise. The reality is that heavy circulation, changing metal compositions, and public indifference towards saving pennies drastically reduce the number of well-preserved survivors. As grading populations reveal how few examples meet higher standards, collectors increasingly view the 1992 D-cent as an undervalued sleeper with strong upside potential, particularly when authenticated and encapsulated by trusted grading services. The learning curve associated with evaluating such coins often deepens a collector's appreciation for the hobby itself. Studying the 1992 D-cent encourages careful examination of mint quality, surface preservation, and long-term metal behavior. Copper-based cents, even from later years, respond uniquely to environmental conditions, creating patterns of tunning and residue that can either protect or harm the underlying surfaces. Collectors who invest time in education develop a refined ability to distinguish natural aging from damage, a skill that proves invaluable across all areas of numismatics and strengthens confidence in acquisition decisions. On a broader scale, the 1992 D-cent illustrates how American coinage continues to influence collectors worldwide. International numismatists often seek U.S. coins as representations of economic power, political history, and consistent design traditions. The Lincoln cent, in particular, stands out as one of the most recognizable coins on the planet. When a modern-day cent becomes scarce and valuable, it reinforces the idea that American coinage is not only historically rich, but also dynamically collectible, appealing to audiences far beyond its country of origin. Ultimately, The enduring appeal of the 1992 D-cent lies in its transformation from an overlooked object into a meaningful artifact of history and value. As time progresses, the gap between common circulated examples and certified high-quality survivors will continue to widen. This dynamic supports long-term appreciation and ensures sustained collector interest. What begins as a very dirty, seemingly ordinary penny can evolve into a symbol of patience, knowledge, and hidden worth, reminding collectors that numismatic history is still being written, even by coins from our own lifetime.